Hello, everybody. Hope you're all doing well. And, well, we are back again, today for some more Labyrinth of Grisaia. I mean, what more can I really say about it? It's Grisaia. We're just continuing on with Yuji's backstory. Sorry, I don't know why I'm doing this now. I could have done this earlier, but I'm putting my rechargeable batteries into their charger holder because I just put the last set I had in last night. And it's just bugging me that I forgot to do it. There, dealt with. I'll plug it in later. So yeah, we're just continuing with Labyrinth of Grisaia right from where we left off, which was more of, just Asako and Yuji bonding kind of thing, her trying to make him come out of his shell a little more, and him slowly accepting that. He even got a dog out of it. A girl dog named John, because that's Yuji for you. One, for the uncreative name, and two, even after being told it's a girl, not deciding to change that. It's Yuji, what do you expect? Even starting to culminate with, well, not really culminate, it's like, throughout it, she's kind of getting him to do a little more physical things, like starting to run, and then learning how to properly fight and brawl, but then also getting him to read anything he wants so he can, expand his mind and gain knowledge beyond just what he's being taught by JB. And now he's learning to shoot. Well, he already knows how to shoot, and he even got his own gun. And they went on a hunting trip, kind of as Asuko's little test to see, can he actually kill someone, after, even though we know his backstory before Asuko took him in, where he was an assassin as a child. She wanted to see if he could still kill something, a living being, and he couldn't. And Asuko's kind of okay with that. She's like, yeah, alright. The little safety pin she said she put in place is still there and holding. So he's not just going to snap and kill things again. At least not easily. When we left off, it was in the middle of that hunting trip. We're just going into more and more of this backstory. I'm still super fascinated by it, honestly. I am. Oh, man. I wanted to know more about Yuji's backstory, and, I mean, we're getting that. I'm getting it. I'm disturbed by some of the things that have happened in it, namely anything to do with Heath fucking Oslo. If you don't know who that is, refer to the previous videos. That being said, I will do this right now, so I don't get semi-blindsided like last time. Content warning for this. There's, yeah. Labyrinth of Grisaia deals with some very heavy topics and situations. If at any moment you feel uncomfortable watching and need to walk away, or damn it. If at any moment you feel uncomfortable watching and need to walk away or close the stream, please do so. We all understand. I can't even say my own content warning right. That's a great way to start today, isn't it? But yeah, there's some heavy stuff going on, potentially, that could set someone's things going off with other people, so I just want to be mindful of that. So, we're just gonna jump right into it. I apologize I was late. I was just kinda relaxing, mostly. Chilling out. Slower morning, again. But I should be able to still do my 3 hours that I want to do. So, let's jump right back into Labyrinth. We spent that night out on the mountain as well. It's odd, the way human minds work. Even when they set up camp in a wide open space, they'll end up sleeping under a tree or next to a rock wall. Without some sense of enclosure, it's hard for us to rest easy. It might be an instinct left over from the days when we lived in trees to protect ourselves from predators. Or maybe even a subconscious yearning for the confining protection of a womb. Okay. Come to think of it, my hiding places were always pretty cramped. The closet where I waited out my father's drunken rampages was barely big enough for me to squeeze into. And the sense of confinement was oddly comforting. Maybe tiny spaces like that were like a security blanket for me. At night, my dreams always followed a predictable pattern. I found myself in a vast, quiet mansion, its floors covered by a thick rug. Eventually, the sudden chiming of a clock on the wall broke the silence. Startled, I began to run. Someone was chasing me. I didn't know who it was, but I knew I had to flee. Panicked, I ran through the huge mansion at random. A great heavy door appeared before me. Pulling it open, I leapt into the gloomy room beyond. Inside, I found my way to a closet door, opened it, and hid myself there. Huddling there with my head in my hands, I waited in perfect stillness for my pursuer to pass me by. But as time passed, my eyes adjusted to the darkness, and I saw a box in front of me. When I turned my head, I found that there were many others just like it all around me. I knew what was inside those boxes, even without opening their lids. Oh! Nice! The box right in front of me, about the size of a birthday cake, contained my father's severed head. If I opened it, I'd see it sitting inside, dark blood pouring thickly from the place where I'd broken his skull. Oh, God! The box next to that one probably had my mother's body inside it. The next box, and all the rest, contained the many other corpses I had created. And the people inside those boxes were looking at me, speaking to me. Why did you kill me? Why didn't you save me? Why are you still alive? Why does a ruthless killer like you get to survive? A part of me knew this was a dream, but it was driving me insane anyway. I could scream for help all I wanted. No one was going to come and save me. The one person who'd protected me was gone now. As I cowered in the darkness, I could see her looking down at me, a sorrowful expression on her face. Kazuki. My voice couldn't reach her. And even if it did, there was no way for her to help me now. Ah, God, I hate this fucking noise! It was happening all over again. There was nothing I could do. Nothing. Oh, thank God that's over.
おい、ユジ、大丈夫か？しっかりしろ。ああじゃねえよ。お前、またうなされてたぞ。だからああじゃねえっつの。ああ、汗でドロドロじゃねえか。
Taking a towel, Asuko began to wipe away the sticky layer of perspiration that had coated my body as I slept. I didn't understand her. Her past was obviously just as bad as mine, if not worse, so how could she be so strong? She'd killed people, just like me. Had she found some reason to keep on living anyway? Asuko had told me nothing was more valuable than experience. Did that mean if I experienced enough, I could be as strong as her one day? Yeah, almost assuredly. You kind of become mini Asuko. From what we saw in Fruit, you gotta become mini Asuko. Mini male Asuko. As tough, stubborn, and a pain in JB's ass as ever. Was Kusakabe Asuko someone I could follow out of the darkness?
なんだ、人の顔じっと見やがって。
Asako, on closer inspection, you're actually a pretty fine woman.
失礼なやつだな。私はよく見なくてもいい女だ。
Oh my god. A little late to worry about all this now. Hadn't I already decided to trust this woman?
ほら、チューしてやるから、もう一度寝ろ。
I'm not a complete baby, you know.
じゃあ、大人のキスだ。
Asuka, what the fuck? What the fuck? Alright, that happened. When I was younger, Kazuki was always the one to give me a goodnight kiss to keep the nightmares away. I wasn't really happy about being treated like a baby. But looking back on it after the fact, maybe she was the reason I could sleep so peacefully back then. I was starting to think, women were actually pretty amazing. Then why are you such a dick in the future?
ユージ、お前
What?
いや、なんか今、お前の別の才能に気がついたというか。
Oh, hey, PJ, how's it going? Don't say he has a talent for kissing, because that's just creepy. That's just... Asuko, that's just weird. This is a kid.
うるせえな。そんな目で私を見るなよ。なんでもない。もう寝ろよ。ほら。
Doing good, good. I'm doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. Okay. I don't know if Asako's magic charm did much in particular, but I didn't have any more bad dreams that night. Kusakabe Asako had definitely become very special to me. There was no doubt about that. But if her life was ever in danger, if I had to pull the trigger to save her, I probably wouldn't be able to do it. I'd probably stand there and let her die. That fear was weighing more heavily on me with every passing day. And before too long, it would be realized. In a very different form. They're gonna get attacked by a bear, aren't they? And he's gotta shoot the bear to, you know, save her life. Is that what's gonna happen? He's gotta shoot a bear? A few days had passed since the end of our failed hunting trip. That morning, as I was cleaning off in the bathroom after my daily run, I noticed a strange clattering sound coming from the main room of the cabin. Is she back already? Asuko had been called out on a sudden job a few days earlier. She'd be coming back in the afternoon, so it was too early for her to be home. If it wasn't her, could it be John? John is his dog, by the way. Just to briefly catch you up there, PJ. John is his dog, a female dog that he named John because he's an idiot and a very horribly traumatized, abused child made into an assassin, being raised by technically a government-sanctioned assassin now. I don't know. Grisaia is wild. Grisaia is just absolutely fucking wild. Oh, that ain't good. I stopped the shower and listened closely. From the main room, I could hear my dog barking and growling up a storm. John's gonna fucking die, isn't he? Isn't she? John's gonna die. This is how Yuji loses his dog and why we never fucking see it in the first game. And he never talks about it. What's she so worked up about? Holy fuck! It didn't even need to come into view fully. That actually was... Holy shit! That's just a bear! Imagine being a little kid, stuck in the middle of the woods in a cabin with a fucking bear. What the fuck do you do? I mean, he has access to a gun, but he can't shoot things. He, like, just literally cannot pull the trigger. He's just too traumatized. Like, holy shit, a fucking bear! Oh, if there's desperates... Oh, no, the dog is probably hurt and dying. Oh, God. There was something oddly desperate about the sounds John was making. I hurried out of the bathroom to see what was going on, and found that something strange was inside our cabin. For a few seconds, I couldn't even figure out what I was looking at. A massive jet black lump of fur was poking its head into the kitchen trash can. Oh, hi, Mochi. Oh, hi, Nick. How's it going? And John, holding herself low to the ground, was baring her fangs and barking fiercely at it. A bear? Yeah, that's horrifying. Doing good? Good. Just as my mind finally caught up with the situation, the bear seemed to notice my presence. Lifting its head out of the trash can, it snuffled loudly. Standing upright, the animal would probably have been more than 2 meters tall. As it moved, I could see that its enormous body was practically a mass of muscle. My breath caught in my throat. I couldn't even move. If I take a step backwards now, that thing's going to charge right at me. Backing away would encourage it to approach. Running would provoke it to attack. That's the nature of a wild predator. I had to keep my eyes fixed on the bear. It probably hadn't seen anything like me before. That should make it somewhat cautious. That said, I couldn't just stand here staring at it forever. Once it sized me up and decided to try taking a step forward, my powerlessness would be instantly exposed. What do I do? John's gonna die. John's gonna die. As I stood there, my body burning with tension, John let out another fierce bark from across the room. Reacting to the sound, the bear glanced away from me for a moment, turning its eyes down to my dog. Now! I broke into a run immediately, but the bear didn't even react. Its attention had turned to John, still braced low against the ground, and her deep growls of anger. Damn it! Bursting into my bedroom, I pulled the rifle case out from under my bed and began turning the dials to form the number 9029. Damn it! Damn it! Okay, I'll be back in a bit. I have to take the car to the shop. No worries. Hope everything with the car turns out alright. Thanks for stopping in for a bit, PJ. Hopefully I'll still be around when you get back. My fingers were trembling with fear. I knew what I needed to do, but I couldn't get the numbers to line up properly. Even as I sat here, that bear might be eating John. But the thought only made me impatient, and I fumbled clumsily with the metal dials. Instead of moving a dial up from 8 to 9, I found myself turning it down, rotating it all the way through 1 and back again. The stupidity of it left me burning with irritation. What am I, a moron? Finally, managing to unlock the case, I hastily grabbed a handful of ammo directly from the packs inside, not bothering with my scope or magazine. Bullets slipped through my fingers. I rushed back to the kitchen where I'd left my rifle earlier. Don't move! Taking the weapon into my arms, I pulled back the bolt handle and pushed around directly into his exposed chamber, then pressed the stock against my shoulder and pointed the barrel at the bear. Stupid animal! Get the hell out of this cabin! Shouting threats the creature couldn't possibly understand, I stood there with my finger on the trigger of my rifle, trembling like a leaf in the wind. The bear gave me a sideward glance, then shifted its attention back to John with something like a snort of disdain. Bastard's underestimating me. I had to shoot. I had to. If I didn't kill this bear right now, it was going to attack John. I knew perfectly well what I had to do, but my finger refused to cooperate. Whenever I tried to squeeze the trigger, a violent nausea welled up inside me. Perhaps sensing that I didn't have the guts to intervene, the bear charged toward my dog, still ignoring me completely. Oh, John's dead. John's dead. John is so fucking dead. Oh my god. Just... oh my god. Oh. Also, why'd they use like a cow sound? John! A single swipe of the bear's massive arm sent my dog flying into the wall. With a loud yelp, she fell to the floor and lay there in a twitching heap, unable to stand. Oh, this fucker. The bear strode over, sunk its teeth deeply into John's upper back, and began to carry its fallen prey toward the cabin door. Wait! Screaming desperately, I pointed my rifle toward the ceiling and fired a shot to try and intimidate the animal. The bear didn't so much as flinch. I could only watch as it strode boldly out of the cabin, taking John with it. Oh. Poor pupper. I don't like that. I don't like that John's bear food now. As soon as the bear vanished from view, I abruptly collapsed to the floor. It took a good 10 seconds for my mind to even process what I'd just seen. It took her. It took John. The one thing reliant on me for its survival. The life Asako had trusted me with and told me to protect. It had been taken away. Right before my eyes. I hadn't done a thing about it. As I sat there stupefied, my eyes found a red stain spreading slowly across the cabin's wooden floor. It was John's blood. Reminded of the pool of blood I'd seen on the day my parents died, I curled up into a ball, paralyzed by fear and guilt. It's happening all over again. I still can't do a thing. A wave of sheer black despair nearly crushed me under its weight. But it wasn't over yet. There was still a chance John was still alive. I might be able to make it in time. If I got up right now, I might manage to save her. Gritting my teeth fiercely, I used my rifle as a cane and pushed myself up off the floor. My eyes flashed around the room, searching reflexively for anything that could serve as a weapon. Out of the corner of my eye, I noticed a large knife stuck in the cutting board in the kitchen. Grabbing it instantly, I turned and bolted out of the cabin. Holding the knife in my mouth, I lifted the rifle's bolt handle and pushed it backward, then loaded another bullet into the exposed chamber. Looking down, I found the spots of John's blood had formed a small trail into the forest. I have to get her back. That dog's mine. I have to protect her. She's my family. I'd get her back, no matter what. Even if I had to kill that bear to do it. The instant this thought crossed my mind, I felt a strange heat in the back of my nose, and a vague sense of rage rose up inside me. It was the same thing I'd felt on the day I murdered my father. Kill it. Kill it. Kill it. That thing is your enemy. It wants to take everything from you. Kill it. Kill it. Kill it. Oh, is Heath Oslow's voice? Fuck it. I'm just giving the weird voice. I can't do suave bullshit. The voice of Heath Oslow, the man who'd made me into a tool, was echoing inside my head. That's right. I can't just run away forever. That won't solve anything. I've got to kill it. Once I kill it, everything will be over. In that moment, I couldn't think about anything else. I had to follow that bear, find it, and kill it. I had to get John back. There was no room for any other thoughts in my mind. Murderous anger had consumed me. Oh boy. Well, any good Osco did, help him get past all this has just been completely undone by a fucking bear of all things. Following the trail of John's blood, I traced the bear's path through the forest. I didn't care if I died. If that bear ended up eating me, fine. But not John. Not John. I had to get her back. Using my knife as a machete, I hacked my way through the branches of overgrown hemlock trees, trying not to stumble on the bushes in my path. Whenever I lost sight of the trail, I spread myself flat against the ground and pressed one ear to the earth, trying to sense the bear's heavy footsteps. I could feel them. The animal was probably 200 kilos or more. When it moved, I could actually feel the vibrations. Imagining the forest around me as a perfectly round pond, I carefully estimated where the ripples I felt were coming from. This way. Turning my head and sniffing the air, I discovered a whiff of bestial stink, and a hint of iron that suggested fresh blood. Picking up my rifle and knife from the ground beside me, I quickly rose to my feet and set off toward my target. It's not far now. I'll catch up in no time. As I approached, I licked the back of my hand and held it up to the air. Realizing that I was downwind of the bear, I let a smile spread across my face. The bushes a little way ahead were shaking in an unnatural way. I'd found the enemy I was looking for. Moving silently, I began to slow my breathing. This mountain was a living thing. It was breathing in its own way. I had to synchronize myself to that rhythm. If I controlled my breathing perfectly, I'd melt into the natural world. Not even a wild animal would be able to notice my presence. There he is. The bear was about 30 meters ahead of me when I finally spotted it. It was making its way up a natural slope, still holding John in its mouth. Stopping where I stood, I quietly raised my rifle. For a moment, I regretted not installing the scope, but at this distance, there was no chance I'd miss. There was a .300 Win Mag in the chamber. All I had to do was carefully pull the trigger. From such close range, it would have been more than enough to take that thing down. Fortunately, I'd lost my cool at the sight of the animal. I pulled the trigger before I was actually ready, with my feet planted awkwardly on uncertain ground. As the 7.62mm bullet left the barrel, the recoil hit me hard, and I slipped on the damp moss below my feet. Gunshot ringing in my ears, I tumbled painfully to the ground. Damn it! I looked up quickly to check on my target. The bear had turned around to face me. John was still dangling from its mouth. Well, he got its attention. And who knows, maybe he sees Child as much more of a good meal than the small dog. Stupid idiot. How could you miss that shot? Mentally cursing myself, I tried to stand, only to realize that my legs were trembling. An instant later, I noticed my heart was beating so powerfully that it felt about ready to explode. I was terrified. It was the same thing I'd felt when I attacked my father and left my mother to die. The kind of terror that clings to you like glue, holding you like an insect in a trap. The gunshot had probably startled the bear. By the time I raised my head, it was glaring down at me where I lay fallen on the ground. Allowing John to fall from its mouth, it began to shuffle slowly around, positioning itself so I was directly in front of both of its eyes. Pinned by the gaze of a predator that had found new prey, I couldn't move so much as an inch. If I tried to run now, I'd die. That thing would attack the instant I showed it my back. I couldn't give it any indication I wanted to flee. The slightest flinch could prove to be fatal. Even the movement of a drop of sweat trickling down my forehead might be enough to prompt the bear to attack. Overwhelmed by fear, I forced the air in my lungs out in a small gasp. Out of the corner of my eye, I could see John lying limply on the ground, her neck broken by the bear's jaws. Oh my god, fucking John. The dog's gone. The dog's dead or dying. I hope it's dead. I hope it's just dead and not suffering. I didn't feel pity or anger. Those emotions had disappeared entirely from my mind. The only thing I felt in that moment was a simple, instinctive kind of fear. If I show any weakness, I'm going to end up like that. It was the same as when I'd seen my mother's corpse. Face to face with the inevitability of death, I was paralyzed by the thought that it might be my turn next. This was just pathetic. Was I really going to sit here trembling? Had I not made any progress at all? No matter how much progress you make, this is a natural reaction of staring down a fucking bear. You don't fuck with bears. Asako had trained me to overcome this kind of fear. And even if I did manage to survive just by sitting here, I knew perfectly well that I'd end up hating myself for it. Biting down on my lower lip until I tasted blood, I slowly stretched out my hand toward the rifle I dropped as I fell, my eyes still fixed on those of the bear. Grabbing the sling, I dragged my weapon across the ground to me. But the moment it entered my field of vision, I had to fight the urge to curse out loudly. Damn it. The gun must have fallen muzzle first to the ground. The barrel was packed tightly with black soil. If I pulled the trigger, the expanding gas that usually pushed the bullet out of the muzzle would bounce back off the blockage, causing a pressure explosion inside the barrel before the dirt could be ejected. The rifle was useless. Having realized this almost instantly, I picked up the gun and tossed it aside. The bear, perhaps having recognized that the rifle was my weapon, followed its movement with its eyes. This is my chance. Quickly pushing myself off the ground, I grabbed the knife I'd taken from the cabin's kitchen and charged forward at the bear. Dude. You are not having a knife fight with a fucking bear. Oh my god. Stay low to the ground. Move quickly and quietly. Control your breathing. Become a part of nature. Close in before they know you're coming. The bear had been distracted by the rifle, but it reacted to my approach. Still, in that brief moment, I brought myself 3 strides forward, and that was enough to put me at an advantage. Giving me those 3 steps was a fatal mistake! I rushed through the overgrown grass, my body leaning forward, and the bear reared up, stretching out its forelegs toward me. Another half step, and my murderous hatred would collide with its savage anger. I thrust the knife I'd been cradling at my side up at the enemy's throat. But the bear evaded my attack at the last moment, pulling itself back half a step. And in the next instant, one of its massive arms lashed out and sent my weapon flying. Seriously, why are they using a bull sound for a bear? Just use a bear sound. Like, there's enough bear roars out there. We don't need a fucking bull. Like, that's not a bull. It's a fucking bear. Sorry. As the bear's harsh breathing beat against my face, its bright red mouth and sharp yellow teeth plunged toward me. It's going to eat me. My momentum had carried me right up against the animal's massive body. Reflexively, I reached out my arms and wrapped them around its neck, managing to prevent it from biting me. But that gaping red maw was now only inches away, and its foul breath and sticky saliva were raining down on my face. That was a lion. That was like a lion or a tiger, not a bear. Unable to even close my eyes, I found myself staring into the face of a terrifying death. One that I'd likely be experiencing within minutes at most. I was going to die. At this rate, this bear was going to kill me and eat me. Was I really going to die like this? A failure who couldn't even protect a dog? The weak die. Was that just the rule? Would it be better to just accept it? Memories flashed rapidly through my mind. The death of my sister. The death of my father. The death of my mother. The death of the girl who bonded with me in the depths of hell. They'd all died because they were weak in one way or another. Was weakness just an unconditional death sentence then? Was something that cruel and unfair the fundamental rule of our world? Maybe it was. But even so, I wanted to know the reason I'd survived. I was weak, so why was I still alive? Thoughts churned chaotically through my mind. Nothing like an answer emerged. But just as I was on the verge of giving up, I felt my chest go strangely cold. Did I survive so I could kill something else? Is killing all I've got left now? All that whining about wanting to die, and here you are, desperately searching for some excuse to live. How completely pathetic. Are you that afraid of death, Kazumi Yuji? I couldn't suppress a snicker at my own shamelessness. It really was hilarious. What a complete joke. On the verge of bursting into laughter, I felt something melt inside my head, filling it with hot mud. This is idiotic. The world warped before my eyes. The massive bear pressing down on me suddenly looked like some cheap stuffed animal you'd see in a low-budget comedy skit. Before I knew it, I was jabbing a finger into its throat, then reaching out reflexively to grab a wooden stick lying on the ground nearby. It was only a twig, really. Not even 20 centimeters in length. My mind perfectly blank, I took that tiny piece of wood and pierced one of the bear's eyes with it. Even the sturdiest creature has a few vulnerable points it can't defend with layers of muscle. And the bear had left one of these weak spots, its eyeballs, completely exposed to its enemy. With a terrible, throaty scream, the animal bolted off of me, the twig still lodged in its ruined eye. Freed from its oppressive weight, I slowly pushed myself up off the ground. The world was tilting around me. With staggering, unsteady steps, I made my way back to the rifle I tossed aside and picked it up. A small laugh pushed its way out of my mouth. He's losing it right now. With a few knocks against a nearby tree trunk, I dislodged the soil from the barrel of my gun. Pulling back the bolt handle, I took a bullet from my pocket and pushed it into the chamber. And then turned back to the bear, which was writhing and screaming as it desperately tried to remove the twig from its eye. End of the line. Once you're dead, you won't have to feel any more pain, or fear, or suffering. With that silent thought, I pushed the muzzle of my gun right up against the bear's head. Let's just get this over with already. But just as my finger was closing in on the trigger, I noticed an odd rustling in the bushes behind me. It's gonna be Osco, isn't it? Lifting my heavy head with an effort of will, I turned it toward the sound. Oh no. Oh. Two bear cubs stared back at me from the undergrowth. Even at a glance, I could see they were painfully thin on the verge of starvation. The instant I saw them, a small flame snapped to life at the center of my frozen heart, and everything fell into place. I see. You were planning to feed my dog to those two, weren't you? You were going to feed your cubs. A member of my family, huh? Why did it have to be my dog? There's other prey around here, right? Plenty of deer and tanuki. Why did it have to be John, damn it? A wave of nausea abruptly rose up inside me. Kill and eat anything you want as long as it doesn't affect me? What kind of reasoning was that? What a selfish load of crap. I quickly pressed a hand to my mouth, but vomit forced its way out of the gaps between my fingers. I knew how selfish I was being. I was just pretending the world revolved around me. Killing this bear now wasn't going to bring John back to life. It would be pointless. A pointless act of murder. Carnivores eating other animals was completely natural. But even if that was how things work, I wasn't nearly mature enough to just accept it. Spitting out the rest of the vomit that had gathered in my mouth, I steeled myself and pulled the trigger of my rifle. As the sound of the gunshot echoed like thunder through the clear blue sky, Kusakabe Asuko turned around in the entrance of her ransacked cabin.
何かトラブルがあったのは間違いないみてえだな。
Considering the way the room had been turned upside down and the blood all over the floor, it was fairly clear a bear had broken in looking for prey.
銃声が聞こえたってことは、あいつはまだ生きてるってことか。
Oh god, this is now from Asuko's perspective? I trained him better than to go down that easily. And not long after Asuko muttered these words to herself, I returned to her with my head hung low. The knife was in my right hand. My rifle was on my shoulders. In my left hand, I carried the red collar John had worn around her neck. With slow, trudging footsteps, I made my way back into the cabin.
何があった？
I looked up in response to Asuko's question, but found myself unable to answer it. If I opened my mouth, I was afraid I'd start wailing incoherently.
熊か？
With a slight nod, I finally managed to force my lips apart. Asuko, in the end, I couldn't kill it. I just couldn't. I'm useless. I'm so useless, Asuko. I forced out the words through trembling lips, my breathing ragged, and Asuko reached out to wrap her arms powerfully around me. Poor guy.
それでいい。お前はそれでいいんだ。
That's sweet. This is sad but sweet. Poor kid. I mean, he's now maimed a bear by, blinding it in one eye, but fuck. Holding my head to her chest, Asuko pushed her hands into my hair and mussed it roughly around. In that instant, something that had been frozen inside me abruptly thawed, and I began to cry. I'm not doing crying, I'm sorry. I can't do a fake cry like that. Not a screaming cry. I'm sorry, I can't do it. Regret, sadness, and chagrin rushed through me all at once. It was simply unendurable. Why did this have to happen? I wailed out the question, knowing there was no answer.
うるせえ。男がそんぐらいのことで泣くんじゃねえよ。バカ野郎。
Even you're crying, Asuko. Come on. I've cried over having my dogs put down, even my cats. Shit hurts, guys. That shit hurts. So having to see it literally be killed in front of you like that, that's... Oh. Even as she spoke those words, I could tell that Asuko was crying as well. In the shaking of her voice, I could hear an unspoken question. How much does fate have to torment this kid? That evening, Asako made a grave for John behind the cabin. She said it would help us move on. John's body wasn't actually inside it. The only thing we buried was the red collar that I'd carried back from the woods. I'd picked out that collar at a pet shop in town. Red seemed like a good color, since John was a girl. The grave itself was very simple. A rough arrangement of some stones we picked up at random, resting on the earth where the collar was buried. But strangely, its presence was enough to help me regain my emotional balance. To put it another way, after a long time spent living for nothing, I'd finally found a new goal to pursue. Hey, Asako.
Hmm?
I failed again. I couldn't protect something I loved.
そうだな。
I'm sick of being a coward, and I'm sick of running away. Asako, you said I'm fine the way I am, but I don't think I can take any more of this. I want to be strong. I want to be like you, Asako. I'm not talking about physical power or knowing how to fight. I want to become a genuinely strong person. I think I owe that to her.
やめとけ。お前は優しすぎて弱すぎる。それに、長生きはできない生き方だ。それこそ後悔するぞ。
No matter how I spend the rest of my life, I'm gonna die with a lot of regrets. So in the meantime, I might as well try to do something worthwhile. I might not be good for much, but I want to find a way to be useful to someone. If I can manage that, I think I'll be able to die with a smile on my face.
アーメンだよ。私のように生きるって言っても、決して楽な道じゃないぞ。
So it took the death of his dog by Bear to push him toward the man he slowly becomes that we see in the game. Okay. God damn. Wasn't expecting dog death today, guys. I'll tough it out.
覚悟だけでどうにかなる仕事じゃない。特にお前みたいに余計なことを考えちまうやつには向かない仕事だ。
Can't you just turn off your brain and do what you're told?
そりゃ、できなくはないが。
Okay then, I'll go with that.
出前のピザ頼むみてえに簡単に決めるなよ。もう少し考えたらどうだ？
The more I think, the harder it gets to actually do anything. Today made that painfully obvious. I don't want to sit around agonizing anymore.
なあ、ユージよ。お前には、オスロがかけた殺人装置としての暗示がまだかかってる。今のお前が、ぼんやりとした寝ぼけ顔のガキでいられるのは、その上から私が暗示をかけ直したからだ。私がお前の神だ。お前は、私の命令がなければ虫一匹殺せない。お前が鹿や熊を殺せなかったのも、それが原因だ。
Okay, literally put a hypnotic suggestion on top of his previous one. Interesting. That's just a handicap. Get rid of it, will you?
ダメだ。私がそれを必要だと認めた時だけ、特別に安全ピンを抜いてやる。
What a pain.
バカか貴様は図に乗るな。いいか、死にかけの貴様を拾ったのはこの私だが、今の貴様を養っているのは私の給料。つまりは国民の血税だ。貴様のようなヘタレを一人前にするために今までいくら金を使ったと思っている。貴様が着ている服、貴様が訓練で使用する武器弾薬、 貴様の心身英気を維持するための両末、クソして流す便所の水道料金に至るまで全ては国民の血税で賄われていることを肝に銘じろ。
Right.
はいじゃない。返事はレンジャーだ。
Oh my god. Oh my god. No, so that's where he got it. From fucking her. Hua!
貴様には貴様を育てるために支払われた費用に見合う働きをするまでは勝手に死ぬことすら許可されてはいない。その昔、まだこの国に軍隊があった頃、とある将校がこう言った。一人で10人の敵を倒すまで生き続けろと。だが今は時代が違う。そこで貴様は国民10人の生命を救うまで、死ぬことは許されない。
Save 10, then you can die.
と言いたいところだが、貴様は半人前だ。5人に負けてやる。国民5人を救うまで勝手にのたれ死にすることは許さん。分かったか？
うわ！
自分のためには引き金を引けなくても構わない。だが他人のためなら迷わず引き金を引ける男になれ。いいな。
I'll try not to kill myself in the process. Alright, we're back to the present. And that's how I ended up becoming Asiko's disciple, of my own free will. She really taught me a lot. Barehanded fighting as a method of self-defense, the handling of small arms, even showed me how to drive a car and ride a motorcycle.
それだけじゃないわよね。
Well, I guess not. I've never put it into practice, but she showed me how to fly helicopters and small airplanes as well.
それだけじゃないわよね。
What are you trying to lead into here, JB? What are you talking about? Too many things come to mind. Can't really narrow it down.
女の扱い方も朝子に習ったでしょ。
Oh, of course that's where you were going. Oh, right. I guess there was that too.
忘れたとは言わせないわよ。
Good God. One day, about 2 years after Asuko and Yuji began living together, what the fuck happened? What the fuck happened?
もう可愛くないな。綺麗なお姉さんが手料理作ってあげるって言ってるんだから、素直にありがとうって言っておきなさいよ。まったく。
Thank you, JB.
そうやってすぐに言う通りにすれば私の機嫌が治ると思わないこと。変なところばっかり朝子に似て、まったく。
Okay, so I guess this is just now JB talking, so... Alright, this is JB's perspective again.
Having used my day off from work to visit Asuko's cabin, I was in the middle of cooking up a meal for the three of us. Something I now did on a regular basis. I didn't exactly think of it as an obligation, but if I left things up to Asuko, it was blatantly obvious that they'd eat nothing but instant food year-round.
Or deer cock, apparently.
And above all else, I was a bit irritated by the way Yuji never seemed to enjoy his meals, no matter what I served him. In other words, I suppose there was a bit of womanly stubbornness at work.
Seems like JB's always mad. I think she hates me.
あいつは万年イライラ病なんだよ。ああやってイラついてみせて、私は仕方がなくあなたの面倒を見ているのよって言いたいだけだ。
I don't get it. What's the point?
それが女ってもんだ。そういう宗教なんだと思って諦めろよ。
Oh my god, think of it as a kind of religion, Jesus.
そこ！聞こえてるわよ。 はいはい、悪かったよ。相変わらず地獄耳だな。いいかユージ、ああいう女だけは怒らせるなよ。小さなことでネチネチしつこい上に、そのことを何年経っても忘れない。
Yep, that makes sense. That makes sense for what we've seen of JB.
一度目をつけた他人の傷に何年もかけて丁寧に塩を塗り込んでくる。最悪だぞ。
だから聞こえてるっての。ほら、料理できたわよ。食べなさい。
お、あ、来た来た。
You really piled it up.
こいつの作る料理はいつだってそうなんだよ。一つの皿に山盛りにしてみんなで食う。施設にいた頃からそうだった。
Huh. Okay.
うるさいわね。使う食器の数が少ない方が後片付けが楽でしょ。
Is she really rational or is she just lazy?
ズボラな方に1000ドル。
バカ言ってないで、さっさと食べなさいな。
ああ、JB、ビールもう一本開けてくれ。
もう5本目よ。飲みすぎ。
うるせえや。てめえの稼ぎで飲んで何が悪い。口うるせえ嫁じゃあるまいし、ただでさえクソつまらねえ私の人生からわずかな楽しみを取り上げるんじゃねえよ。
もうこれで最後だからね。私も1本もらうわよ。ユージは何にする？
ユージに酒は出すなよ。こいつ酒は嫌いだから。
出すわけないでしょ。
I'm not sure I hate alcohol. I just don't like drunk people.
そっか。じゃあ朝子なんか大嫌いよね。ごめん、気がついてあげられなくて。すぐにこの女との養親関係を破棄するから。
破棄すんなっつの。だいたい私がこんな麦ジュースで酔っ払うわけねえだろ。
Well, Asako doesn't really change much when she drinks. I guess I've gotten used to it.
人間なんでも慣れだな。
慣れと麻痺は別です。
これうまいぞ JB。
聞きなさいよ、私の話を。
God damn, JB's had to deal with Asako's bullshit, and then she's got to deal with Yuji now at the same time. God damn.
ユージ、お前肉嫌いだろ。そのソーセージよこせ。私が食ってやる。
ソーセージは1人2本っていうか、お肉を食べる前に野菜を食べなさいっていつも言ってるでしょ。ほら、野菜。
JB's 100% the mom past the sausage. Hey, Brozard, how's it going?
だとよ。ほらユージ、野菜を食え。野菜に慣れておけばジャングルで食い物がない時に長生きするぞ。
Okay.
あんたに言ってんのよ。っていうか、勝手にユージのお皿に野菜をどっさり乗せないの。
Jesus Christ. It's alright. I don't mind vegetables.
普段から豆しか食わないしな。
ダメだ、やっぱりダメだ。この女に任せておいたらユージがどんどんダメになるわ。
平気だろ。人間なんて豆さえ食ってりゃ死にやしねえって。軍の人体
Beans.
実験で実証済みじゃねえか。
こんな女の言うことを信じちゃダメよ、ユージ。ほら、食べなさい。若いうちはもっといろいろなものを食べないと、大人になってからの体力に差が出るんだから。
お前だって大豆サポニンの若返り効果が出ると言って一時期豆ばっか食ってたじゃねえか。
うるさいわよ、東洋人。西洋人にとって老いは深刻な問題なのよ。ほら、食べなさい、ユージ。
I forgot she literally is like German. Okay.
どう？おいしい？
It's fine, I guess.
バカおめユージよ。お前には散々教えてやっただろうが。女が手料理を作った時は味を聞かれる前にうまいって言っとけよ。それが礼儀だぞ。
Oh, right. Sorry, JB. It's delicious? Oh my god. This is amazing. This is absolutely amazing. Oh, Jesus H. Christ, I love it. These are the moments I love from this game.
ま、許してやれよ。こいつはまだ飯の味もよく分かっちゃいないんだ。
だってもう2年も経つのにまだ。
味覚ってのはガキの頃に何を食ってきたかで決まっちまう。あんま責めてやるなよ。
そうね。
I really do think it's pretty good. I'm not sure exactly what it is, though.
それはジュリア風アウフラウフ。
Auflauf? Auflauf? The fuck? Oh, it's a casserole. It's a type of casserole, it looks like. So, not a pudding? A baked pudding or something? What the fuck are you? Cobbler. Baked dish or casserole. Okay, so it's like gratin. Okay. Okay. Offlof yoff. Offlof lof. Can't say I've ever heard of that before.
何がジュリア風だよ。なんでドイツ人ってやつはてめえの作ったもんにてめえの名前をつけたがるんだろうな。
アウフラウフは家庭料理なのよ。各家庭で味も見た目も全然違うの。だから作った人間の名前がつくの。
頭の固いドイツ人の言いそうなことだ。そばが入れば広島風みたいなもんか。どうだっていいじゃねえか。
God damn, Masako. People do say Germans take things too seriously.
別にドイツ人が全員生真面目ってわけじゃないぞ。努力家なのは認めるがな。それに JB の母親はイタリア人だ。
What does that make you, JB?
今はあなたと同じ日本人よ。
お前な、だったら肉でも魚でも野菜でも何でもかんでも酢漬けにするのやめろって。日本人ならぬか漬けだろ。
I'm fine with anything that fills my stomach. Thanks for the food.
あら、もういいの？
Yeah, I'm full.
問題ない。残りは私が食う。
あのね。
ああ、ユージ、食い足りないからラーメン作ってくれ。
Oh my god.
ついでに使い終わった食器も洗っとけ。
Okay, sure.
あのね。
なんだよ。でかい声を出すなよ、うっとうしい。
あのね、朝子。あの子はあなたの召使いじゃないのよ。何雑用やらせてるのよ。
あいつが自分で俺にできる仕事があるならやらせてくれって言い出したんだよ。
それにしたって
いいんだよ。軍でも無駄飯ぐらいはきついだろ。
True.
食ったら食った分働く。できることは自分から進んでやる。睾丸の将校当番兵みたいに素直で可愛いだろ。
Oh my god.
まあ確かにちょっとぼんやりしてるけど、 顔も割と整ってるし、
Still talking about a child.
意外と将来とんでもない女泣かせになったりしてね。
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's true, somehow.
まあ女の裸は見慣れているし、今さらガツガツ食い散らかすような真似もしないと思うぞ。
Asuko, what the fuck did you do? Did you just walk around naked all the time now?
だから今さらガツガツはしないと思うぞ。
Asuko, come on.
それってどういう意味かしら？
言葉の通りだが、もちろん相手は私だ。
Asuko? Pardon?
なんだよ、そんなに驚くようなことか？毎年入ってくる新兵連れて歓楽街に行っちゃ女遊びを教えるのも上官の仕事のうちだろうが。
それは男性隊員の話でしょ？
あいつが女に見えるのか？
そうじゃなくて、ウェーブが新人隊員に女遊びの手ほどきをするなんて話聞いたこともないわよ。
幹部相手に酒飲みに行って素人落としとかしょっちゅうやってたじゃないか。注意殿、自分は酔ってしまったでありますとか言ってな。
What the fuck?
どこから声出してんだてめえ気色悪い。鼻腔で物喋ってんじゃねえぞ。てなクソ女は腐るほどいたぞ。
それは一部の良識が欠如した女性隊員の話であって、全体がそうであるというような認識は間違ってるわ。少なくとも私はそんな恥ずかしい真似をしたことは一度もないわよ。
Also, what the hell did you type, Rosard? Fine, just do deep L, whatever. E. That's what you sent? E. Oh. Eh? Oh, God, fuck.
そうやって自分で自分を特別視して何でもかんでも上から目線で喋るなよ。そんなこと言ってるからお前はいつまでも少女なんだよ。
それとこれとは関係ないでしょ。
全く無関係とは思えないけどな。
それで、それはいつの話よ。
あ？
だからいつ頃の話なのよ。
Asuko had a fling with Yuji. Come on.
いつというか、まあいつもなんだが。
いつも？
具体的な日にちで覚えているのは、例えばあいつの誕生日の時のことだ。
I mean, yeah, but I thought he was at least closer in his teens. He's like his late teens when it happened. I think he might only be maybe 15-ish, possibly right now. I'm pretty damn sure Asuko's in like her late 20s, early 30s. He's only been living with her for like 2 years. Not a lot of time has passed. Oh, my God. I swear to fucking God. Am I gonna have to bust out the sensor? Do I even have that still here? Okay, I see. Is it actually the sensor? Yeah, I do have the sensor bar. I might need it. Oh, good fuck. Alright. After morning training was over, it was pretty common for the two of us to take a quick bath together.
ほら、ユージ。お前もっと詰めろよ。私が入れないだろうが。
Oh my god, why does everything happen in the fucking bathroom? Okay, I'll get out.
お前今入ったばっかだろうが。いいから詰めろよ。ほれほれ。
Do you really have to?
生き返るぜ、この野郎。
Okay, I don't have to censor. I'm just gonna try to get through it. So huge, half the hot water spilled out. What a waste.
いいんだよ。風呂ってのはお湯をたっぷり贅沢に使う方がリラックスするってもんだ。つうかてめえ、さりげなくでかいとか言ってんじゃねえよ。ぶっ飛ばすぞ。
Ow! Don't thrash around, will you? This tub's really small.
言っておくがな、うちの風呂が狭いわけでも、私がでかすぎるわけでもねえ。お前がでかくなったんだ。
Am I?
特に最近はメリメリ音がするほどでかくなりやがって。さすがにガキの頃みたいに二人で風呂に入るのはきつくなってきたな。
I hadn't really noticed.
あれ、お前そういえばもうすぐ誕生日じゃなかったか？いつだ？
It's today, actually.
いいよてめえ。
Ouch! Don't start smacking me like that! Not a watermelon.
しかし、そうか、誕生日か。何か欲しいものあるか？
Kind-hearted foster parent would be nice.
うわ
Ah! Don't bite me!
殴るなって言うからだろうが。お前注文が多いぞ。それにしても誕生日か。そうだ。お前、女に興味ないか？
Asako, why? Excuse me?
つまり、プレゼントは私だ。
Are you serious?
なんだてめえ。嬉しくねえのかよ。好きにしていいんだぞ。
Yeah, I'm so excited. You're the best.
心空っぽにして返事してんじゃねえぞ。全然喜んでないだろ、お前。
Can you not jab my head from behind like that? The world went black for a second there.
殴るな、噛むな、頭突きをするな。お前は私にどうしろってんだ。
Is violence literally the only way this woman knows how to interact with people?
バーカおめえ。女の方から誘ってやってんのに、間に合ってますみてえな態度取られりゃ、ムカつくのが当たり前だろうが。私はそんなにブスか。
No. I think you're attractive, Asako. With an asterisk.
ああ？なんだそりゃ気に入らねえな。その条件とやらを言ってみろよ。
I don't like violent people. I definitely couldn't handle being with one.
くっ。手に負えないとか言うな。ガキの頃から言われ続けてうんざりだ。
And work on the violence thing. I'll take you up on your offer if you promise not to hit me.
おい、私に命令か？ずいぶんと上からだな。
This is weird. It's my birthday, right? That makes me king for a day.
仕方がない。 承諾しよう。今日はお前を殴らない。約束する。
Alright then, let's get started. Repeat after me. I may be a huge woman with a tiny brain, but I hope you'll allow me to do your bidding, sir. Gah!
調子こいてんじゃねえぞこら。
The kid's got a mouth on him.
Ow! It was a joke! You just hit me for real, didn't you? You promised you wouldn't!
おめえの冗談は全く笑えねえんだよ。たく、誰に似やがったんだ、たちの悪い。
You? I think I picked it up from you, actually.
んなわけねえだろ。
Figures. You'll probably never be self-aware enough to understand.
お前のそういう減らず口は JD に似たんだと思うんだがな。
Okay, that's over.
ああ、そういうこと。
Oh man, completely unrelated, but I just remembered an AMV idea I had from hearing King for a Day. Oh, okay. Interesting. What's this idea? You got me intrigued, Brozard. You got me quite intrigued. Sorry, I gotta stretch a little. Oh, hearing everything crack into place. Whew. Let's see, what time is it? I'm gonna take a quick break, get myself another tea, and then I'll be right back to continue on. So I shall be right back. Alright, I am back. It's using the Chinreki song with the same name. Don't remember what source I had in mind, but it's definitely about crumbling power. I think I made it in that Count of Monte Cristo stylized anime that came out a few years back. Looked up, apparently it's a bit of a diss track to the band's former bassist. The song was written by J.K. as a tribute to bassist Stuart Zender, who left the band shortly before Synchronize was completed. J.K. subsequently re-recorded all the songs on the album without Zender and added King for a Day as a final track on the album. Oh, maybe it was going to be Akira. It's been a long time since I had it. Okay. Gotta love this. Like, oh wait, this is a diss track? Shit. Sorry, I also got myself some strawberry cream pie. Because I wanted something.
私の裸に限ったことじゃない。あいつの女を見る目はどこか異常だ。街でちょっと良さげな女とすれ違っても振り向きもしねえ。おいユージ、あの女をどう思うと聞いたらなんて答えたと思う？
興味ないとか？
いや、あいつ
No!
簡単に死にそうって答えやがった。あの年齢の男が口にする女の評価として、
That's
それはおかしいだろ？
pretty fucked up there, Yuji.
まあ確かに。
あ、そうだお前。ユージに処女くれちまえよ。
What?
はあ？心の底から言うけど、はあ？
Stop pimping out your not child. Emphasis on child. Pretty sure that was established in the first game. Yeah, but again, I assumed it when he was, you know, a little older. You saw what he looked like in that CG. That's...
今のあいつに必要なのは屈折した姉の愛とか私みたいな手だれとかじゃない。普通の素人さんなんだよ。
Oh my god.
需要と供給のバランスが大事だって前にお前も言ってたじゃないか。
なんでそうなるのよ。
Oh my fuck. What a day today has been so far. We started off with dog death. And now we're on to this. I never knew you and Asuko had a conversation like that.
まあね、昔の話よ。
I guess Asuko had her way in the end, actually. Although it didn't happen until a while later.
まあ、結果的にはね。
Okay, so he was at least a little older.
あの時は本当にひどい目にあったわ。本気で死んじゃうかと思った。
Jesus Christ! Come on, I couldn't help myself. The excesses of youth and all that? Oh my god, dude.
それにしたってゲントってものがあるでしょ。
I know. My bad. Haven't I apologized enough by now? I've turned over a new leaf. I swear.
どうだか口先だけなら何とでも言えるわよね。
What the fuck did he do to her? During their first time? What the fuck did he do? we've been pretty off topic here for a while, haven't we?
ええ
I'm sure I'd find out what the fuck happens if I had the uncensored version. In any case, looking back on it now, the time I spent in that cabin was probably the happiest period of my life.
まあそうねむちゃくちゃな毎日だったけれど考えてみればあの頃が一番幸せだったのかもしれないわね
That said, I'm enjoying my current life as well. Doesn't hurt that you're still a part of it, JB.
何よ言っておくけどここじゃダメよ
Yes, JB, let's forget about this interview and make sweet love in the middle of Ichigaya's headquarters. That's totally gonna fly. You have another place in mind?
もうバカ今日は仕事の話で来ていることを忘れないで
Okay, let's get back on topic. Where were we?
次はあなたが仕事を始めるきっかけかしらセーブしないんだからね
Alright, we're on to the next part of it. Cocoon of Carapace 8.
シナリオ進行度の確認
We're
なんて
almost
しないんだからね
we're almost halfway through Yuji's backstory. Almost halfway through. The period when Asuko's condition started to deteriorate then.
そうね
For some time after that, the two of us lived relatively peacefully together. Yeah, no, Asuko is dead. I guess we're gonna see how she died. Every day, I trained with Asuko and studied under JB's direction. It was a static, uneventful life, but by that point, Asuko had filled the cabin with more books than I could hope to ever finish. One afternoon, as usual, I was killing time by reading something I'd taken down off the shelf at random. What was that sound? Is everything okay, Asuko?
参ったな
You dropped a knife? Did you cut yourself?
大丈夫だ問題ない
Look, your hands are trembling. You've been drinking too much again.
そうだな悪いがユージ今日の飯はお前が作ってくれ
Maybe ALS. Well, I don't mind, but are you really alright, Asuko?
平気だよこんなもん酒を飲めば治る
Listen, I'm telling you, that's the problem. Don't drink anymore today.
私に命令くずいぶんと偉くなったなおい
This has been happening way too often lately. Please, Asuko. You're all I've got left now.
くすあったよ
I did ask if Asuko had some kind of disease. She'd always say, it's nothing, and change the subject. Even so, it was becoming increasingly obvious that her physical condition was deteriorating. Her episodes of absent-mindedness were growing more common, and she was beginning to take sick days from her job on a regular basis. And one day, sometime after this had begun... Hey, Asuko. That black cell phone you use for work is ringing.
うるせえ電源切っちまっていいぞそんなもん
Are you sure? JB got really mad the last time you did that.
じゃあお前が電話に出て今日は無理行かねって言っといてくれ
Scrolling through this client list and found a business just down the road. Amazing. So clearly they're still in business, which is pretty impressive, I gotta say. Depending on how long ago you were, you know, you lived there, how long ago it's been. Still funny to see that. So I'm getting tired of this ringing. Alright. Hello?
9029だな。緊急の仕事だ。1430時に甲府南インターチェンジ入り口で待機。
I mean, it's where my dad lives, so I just reckon. Okay. It's 2024. Who needs those types of services? Hmm? To my surprise, the voice on the other end of the line wasn't JB's. Well, it probably didn't matter. Sorry, can't make it today.
本命令は赤坂直轄特別命令の第9条に該当する。貴様に拒否権はない。本命令に従わない場合は国家反逆罪として略式裁判にかけられる。
Wait, what exactly does that...
説明の義務はない。来るのか、来ないのか。私が知りたいのはその2つのうちのどちらかの回答だ。改めて返答を聞こう。
Fine, I'll go.
第9条に基づき装備はこちらで負担する。以上だ。
Damn it, couldn't get a word in edgewise. Hey, Asako, that call just now. Oh. So he's an unofficial, he was an unintended substitute. Because the guys just don't know how to fucking listen. Great, she's asleep. What now? Kofu South at 2:30. Assuming I borrowed Asako's bike, it should only take about 40 minutes to get out there. Guess I don't have much choice. Oh, hey, Oracle! How's it going? Just about to open up some more Pocky. I love that I got a whole case for 20 bucks. Good, preparing some lunch. Ooh, what's for lunch? I gotta get some ideas here. A case of Pocky? Yeah, an entire box of them. Had 5 of these in them. And each of these have 12 of these in them. They're at work. But they didn't have any location in the store. We were going to donate them. And manager's just like, you guys want to buy them? So you guys just want to buy them? He's like, all right, sure. So I took an entire box. A whole case. That's just a case of them. I gave one whole packet to my sister. I'm slowly feeding off one now, and I have 3 more to go. While debating what I should draw for Street, Ganon being good or... Ooh. I would almost say maybe go with emotes. But that's me. Because you definitely have a few more slots you can fill, I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure you got a fair bit of slots you can still fill up. But Ganon being good, that's an interesting one. Sense. Ganon being good was Vexen's artwork on each... Okay, then maybe... probably say go with that, then. Definitely say go with Ganon being good, just to get Vexen's thing taken care of. I would totally send you some. If I knew where to get more. Thinking he was protecting Link, or maybe me, or why not both? I love the Ganon being good oh my god. Did you really make a pun? You really just made a pun. No, too late now. It's Head Ganon. It's Head Ganon. Also, if you have not checked out Oracle, please do so. Another good friend of mine. Sometimes a VTuber, sometimes a FleshTuber, but all around wholesome, awesome, amazing individual. They play a wide variety of Otome games, they do some art, they absolutely love Yu-Gi-Oh! And have an ever-growing harem of husbandos. So please, if you have not done so, please check her out. I'd make an artwork of Ganon running a coffee shop. It happened in Metopia. The only kind of chill Ganon I've seen was from an old, well, it's not old, like from a web comic, where he's just kind of chilling out and just kind of minding his own business, but then Link's just kind of being an asshole, just looking at him, staring at him like he's about to do something, but he's just like, I don't even have to try anymore. I just kind of look at him and he kind of gets set off. It's like, it's less effort on my part. Just cool, sipping his freaking tea or coffee at the coffee shop. It's like, yeah, I don't even have to try. I think they stopped updating the webcomic, which was a little unfortunate, because I was enjoying it, but hey, you know, things happen. Emotes are getting overhauled except Jaden? Okay. That's it, I'm flooding Hyrule with Dark Roast. You can thank Link. Oh my god. Blushing emo will be minimal change, but still okay. I think you were saying you kind of wanted to unify the design between all of them. I remember you saying that a while back, like a long while back. You wanted to like just make the art and design between all of them more connected, because they're just a little bit too different from each other right now. I still love them. I still love your emotes. Redo all of them and make more. I mean, if you got the emote slots, might as well. And hell, you can even make more just to throw onto the Discord. Because I think we have on Discord servers normally we have slots for 50 emotes we can use, something like that. I know I have a few on mine. And then with Nitro, you just get access to animated emotes and so much more. Said it a couple of times before and a couple of times recently. Okay. It's just finding the time to actually do it. That's always the hardest part. Finding the time to do the things you want to do. Because between work and every other social obligation, it's like, when do I have time for me to do the things I want? There's never enough time in the day, especially when we gotta sleep for, like a third of it. Realistically, hopefully. Maybe not a third. Fourth? I don't know, math. No, I think it was a third. Yeah, third. Granted, I definitely don't sleep 8 hours a day. I sleep maybe 5. If that. Once I draw, then I'm like, nah, not cute enough. An artist is always their worst critic. Their worst and harshest critic is themselves. Come on, swallow. There we go. Over time, there were several other calls like that one, and answering them in Asiko's place became another part of my routine.
ちょっと朝子、あなた大丈夫なの？
ん？何がだ？
なんか最近調子悪いって聞いてるわよ。
ああ、そのことか。それなら問題ない。ユージの野郎がギャーギャーうるせえから、酒をやめたら震えは止まったし、体もだいぶ軽くなった。
Now, such a bad thing where I want to see other emotes, but I also don't, because I want to make sure I don't accidentally have their emotes in mind when I draw. I mean, taking inspiration is good. It's fine. Nothing wrong with that. Oh my god, 2 of my emotes are a banana and a Padaru. One, a design I found online of pixel art bananas that has been sticking with me for how many years now? And the other I made in a Padaru maker and just resized it. And then I just have 4 other emotes that I specifically commissioned. And the wonderful Ginger Snap Cyrus. God, I love them so much. She did so well with them. She did so well with them. Boom. Yeah, close that now.
ならいいけど、ここ最近の9029の仕事ぶりは確かに見事だけど、以前に比べると随分丸くなったって噂よ。
丸くなった？丸くなったね。まあ、確かに殺しはやらなくなったかな。
Why, Aura? Why? Why? I need context here. Also, I won't do it. Oh, that's pain. That's pain. Ooh. That's actually really pain right there. Ooh, I am so sorry. My sketch and reference are on the wrong. Oh god, I am so sorry, Aura. Yeah, there you go. Turn that around into a positive. It's a warm up. Just warming yourself up, stretching those drawn muscles.
だからってわざわざ逃走する丸体の靴のかかとを打ち抜くとか器用な真似をしてみせなくたって曲芸じゃないんだから。射殺許可が出ている時は確実に仕留めなさいよ。遊びじゃないのよ。
ああ、そうだな。次からは気をつける。 あこの前っていつのだが
Damn it!
ちゃんと仕事
そりゃあまあね。ち
Ah!
ゃんとワゴン車のエン
I'm
ジン
hitting the
を
wrong
打ち抜いて
buttons!
仕事はしたわよ。
I'm hitting the wrong buttons! Okay, when you're authorized to kill, take the highest percentage shot. We're not playing around here. Be careful next time. I forgot. Why did you ignore me like that the other day? When was this? 4 days ago when we were arresting those illegal immigrants. Got on the radio. I got on the radio and warned you the station wagon was coming your way, but you never even responded. The job got done, didn't it? I guess you took out their engine in one shot. I'll give you
でも
that.
その後、私が無線でご苦労様って声かけたのに、無視して無線の電源切ったでしょ。
Oh. Kind of very briefly catch you up here, Oro. We're going through the backstory of the main character from Fruit of Grisaia in the sequel, literally his life leading up to when he joined the school back in the first game. Part of that was after being rescued from a terrorist group training up children to be assassins. You got taken in by the blue-haired girl on the right. It was technically also an assassin, kind of, but a government-sanctioned one. Will do stuff there, the government won't obviously say they do. Kind of a Black Ops thing. Yeah. She's slowly been, in her own way, trying to get him to be less of a quiet shell of a person only made to kill into a normal person again. Slowly but surely. And it's been kind of working. Though I think the implication is here he's been going on missions for her under her code name because she's something's going on with her. She's getting too tired and too lethargic for a long time now. She's got something going on.
なんなのよ。何か気に入らないことがあったならはっきりと言いなさいよ。気分悪いわね。
And the blonde on the left is like her handler, but also like her best friend.
いや、な、実はそれ、私じゃないんだ。
は？でも、確かに9029だったわよ。記録も残ってるし。
だから、その現場にいた市ヶ谷9029号は、私じゃないんだ。
ん？あなた、何を言っているの？
おい、ユージ、コーヒー入れてくれ。
え？なんなの？
There's still some left over from this morning, if you're okay with that.
まあ、贅沢は言うまいよ。だがせめて温め直してくれ。
Oh, JB's here? In that case, I'll make a new pot.
おい、なんだよ。私には残り物で JB なら入れ直す。差別じゃねえかよ。
You always smoke with your coffee, so it's not like you can tell the difference. What do you want, JB? Usual decaf?
あ、うん、お願い。
Got it. Hold on just a minute.
私があいつの才能に気がついたのはもうずいぶん前の話だ。まあ最初は冗談半分というかいつもの悪ふざけのノリでライフルを与えたんだが、教えていくうちに意外なほど飲み込みが早いもんでつい面白くなっちまってな。
まさかあなた。
まあそういうことだ。
だって
本部からの直接命令で集められて他の工作員や担当官と顔を合わせないまま任務を終えることも珍しくはないだろう。そういう行ってポーンの仕事の時にたまーに私の代わりに現場入りさせているってだけの話だ。
Yeah, I know, the ad started right as this happened. She basically just confirmed, oh yeah, he's been doing some jobs for me here and there. It's only because you're not the one directly talking to us. It's someone else. So we don't even see him. They don't even see him, so they don't confirm it's really Agent 9029. It's just someone showed up and fulfilled the mission.
たまにってそのことを本部は
もちろん内密だ。
バレたらどうするのよ。シャレにならないわよ。
なーに、今までだってお前以外は誰も気がつかなかったじゃないか。
そんなバカな話が。
集めた犬の数と首輪の番号が合っていて、首輪から出るシグナルが命令通りの動きをしていれば誰も疑わない。
Playing a dangerous game here.
要は自分の代わりに引き金を引いてくれるやつがいれば、それが誰かなんてどうでもいいんだよ、上の連中は。私の代わりに私と同じ仕事ができるやつがいれば、別に私である必要もないってわけだ。
Afternoon, Nichols. How's it going?
言いたいことはわかるわよ。でも9029は特別な番号で。
そう、特別なのは番号で、草壁麻子ではない。伝説なんてのは所詮そんなもんだ。
朝子、あなたむちゃくちゃよ。自分の代わりに子供を現場に入れるなんて、一体何を考えているの？
なーに、ガキとはいえ私が一から鍛え上げたんだ。そんじょそこらの即性上がりには負けないね。
And ends up becoming one of the best agents they've ever had, apparently.
そういうことを言ってるんじゃないでしょ。
Okay, coffee's ready. Huh? Is there some reason you're glaring at me like that?
悪いユージ、仕事のことこの女にバレちまった。
Oh, okay.
ああ、そう。っていうことはそれだけ？私、いつも言ってたわよね。朝子がバカをやりそうな時は、あなたが止めなさいって言ってたわよね。それをあなたまで一緒になってバカをやってどうするのよ。
まあ落ち着けよ、コーヒーでも飲め。
ユージ、ねえユージ、だから言ったでしょ。この女の口車には絶対に乗っちゃダメって。何度も何度も何度も何度も口が酸っぱくなるほど散々言ったわよね、私。それなのにどうしてこんなことになっちゃうの？何なの？何か弱みでも握られているの？
Oh my god.
それともお金？遊ぶ金欲しさについってやつ？やっぱり私が引き取ればよかった。
Oh my god, JB, holy shit! I'm not sure how Asako explained this, but the first time I took her place out there, I didn't exactly ask permission. It wasn't that different the next time, or the time after that. I filled in for Asako on my own initiative. She never pressured me to take on jobs, not even once.
そうは言っても、朝子はそんなあなたを止めるべき立場なのよ。
Well, she was asleep on the couch, so it's not like she could say, Yuji, no, don't go.
いや、悪いとは思っているんだけどな。ほら、誰にだって飲みすぎでだるい日とかあるだろ。ああ、今日は何もしたくねえ。みたいな
みたいなじゃないわよ。いい朝子。あなたが有事にしているのは、ヒース・オスロがしていたことと同じことなのよ。
Pulling the Oslo card.
そりゃまあ、それを言われちゃ言い訳のしようもねえな。
Still, this is pretty much the only thing I'm capable of doing. I know I'm repeating myself, but I took Asako's place of my own free will as my way of repaying her. It makes me feel like I'm making myself useful. Like there's some actual value to my life. I barely even managed to survive this long, you know? I'm not good for much. And of course, I still can't bring myself to kill. But Asuko told me I'm fine the way I am. She taught me to look for the non-lethal way to get things done.
それができるなら、それに越したことはない。私にはできなかったことだ。それが、お前にならできるかもしれない。
そんなの理由になってないわ。やっと血生臭い世界から引きずり出したのに。
But he pulled himself right back in.
どうしてまた自分から戻ろうとするのよ。理解できないわよ。
そりゃお前が理解しようって気がねえからだ。
そんなこと
あるんだよ。お前はいつだってそうだ。他人を理解しているつもりで、結局は自分の価値観の枠から出ようとしない。
Yeah, how you doing, Nichols?
自分が正しいと思ったもの以外は全て足ざまに捉えて認めようともしない。結局お前は過程と結果だけを見て人間を見ちゃいないんだ。命令を出す立場にいる人間なんざみんなそうだ。個人を見ちまえばどうしたって甘くなって命令なんか出せなくなるからな。
Doing alright, how are you? Doing pretty good. A little bit of a later start today, but that's okay. Hey, stop picking on JB.
あ？なんだお前。どっちの味方だよ。
JB's just worried about me. I'm on her side this time.
んだよクソ。女に甘くなるのはお前の悪い癖だ。
That's not what this is about. And anyway, shouldn't we try to convince her instead of wasting time like this?
ああ、ごちゃごちゃとうるせえな。おい JB、 結局お前はあれだろ、規則違反が気に入らないんだろ。だったら資格を取らせりゃいいんだろうが。
ちょっと私はそんなこと一言も言ってないでしょ。っていうかあなたそれ本気で言ってるの？
おいユージ、お前どうする？
何？
仕事のライセンス欲しいか？
Yeah, sounds good.
待ってユージ、あなた本当にそれでいいの？もっとよく考えて。この女に対する恩返しとかそういう余計なことは考えないでいいのよ。
The Nani got ya.
そんなことしたってこの女を図に乗らせるだけなんだからね。
なんだとこの野郎、言わせておけば調子こきやがって、このもっさり頭が。
Seriously, don't fight. What a pain.
おいユージ、お前はどうしたいんだ？これはお前自身の問題だ。お前が決めろ。誰に言われたからとかじゃなく、自分で考えて自分で決めろ。それが後悔しない選択ってもんだ。
Yeah, I know.
それは個人の感情を優先することで周囲への影響を考えないエゴよ。この女の言い分に耳を貸してはダメ。
I know. I know what you're saying, JB. But please, just listen to me. If there's a job I can handle, I want to do it. Of course, I don't want to be a burden on anyone, if I can help it. But it's not just that. I want an actual reason to live. I want someone, someday, to be grateful I was there for them.
ほれ見ろ、立派じゃねえか。男が一度こうと決めたことにいちいち女がぐちゃぐちゃと口を挟むんじゃねえ。生き様がブレるだろうが。
Michiru? I guess also Chizuru as well, because he saved her life, apparently, before Fruit started. Maybe we'll see that in this, even when he first meets Chizuru and saves her life. And I guess all the other girls as well, as going by the logic we've gotten, Labyrinth takes place in an alt ending where he solved and like kind of helped solve all the girls' problems, but never dated any of them this time. He didn't start a romance. Sorry, taking care of something quick.
と黙ってて。なんだと？
God, these two are gonna literally go at it.
ユージ、ちょっと来なさい。
I had to look up who that was. I didn't remember her name. It's the principal. Chizuru Tachibana, the principal. The one I wish had a route. The one who is always agonizing how she's growing old and won't get a man. And Yuji feels no problem just kind of taunting her about it. I mean, he has no problem taunting everyone about anything. Yuji's an asshole. And after living with Asuko, I could tell why. She's kind of an asshole, too. Huh?
おい、こら待て。ユージをどこに連れてきだ。別に本部に連行したりしないわよ。あなたのいないところで二人で話をするの。ついてこないで。行くわよ、ユージ。おい、うるさい。
Oof.
おい、マジか？ああ、壁に穴開けちまいやがって。あのバカ。
Jesus Christ, JB came packing.
人の話を聞かねえのはお前も同じだろうが、JB。
As the sun's shadow sunk behind the mountains in the west, JB stalked down the path in such an obvious rage that I half expected to see steam rising from her head. Her heels weren't exactly suited to the terrain, but she managed somehow, thrusting her shoulders forward with every empathic step. Oh my god. I got tongue-tied for no reason. I followed in silence. At first, I thought I'd try to lighten the mood with a joke or two. But there might as well have been a sign on JB's back reading, "Don't talk to me," in oversized type. So I ultimately decided it'd be wisest to keep my trap shut. After about 10 minutes of this, we reached the paved road at the bottom of the trail. JB's pride and joy, a new yellow car that had supposedly cost most of the money in her bank account, was waiting for us there. Oh, so she bought her fucking flashy sports car. As we neared, the keyless entry system detected the approach of its owner. And with a cute little chime and a flash of the hazard lights, the door was automatically unlocked.
乗りなさい。
In the face of such a curt order, I found myself unable even to ask where we'd be going. Without a word, I got into the vehicle. The cabin still had a hint of that new car smell. The passenger seat was snug and comfortable. To be honest, our destination wasn't really the first thing on my mind. I was too busy trying to figure out what Asuko and JB had gotten so worked up about in the first place. It wasn't as if they owed me anything. I was just some random kid they'd happened to take in. I couldn't understand why they'd get into such a furious fight about my future, of all things. Well, to borrow Asuko's words, maybe I hadn't been that interested in understanding. Still, I was beginning to think it might not hurt to try. But before I could put those thoughts into action, JB abruptly tore her glare off the road and broke her silence.
ごめんね、強引で。
It's alright. Sometimes, it's hard to have a coherent conversation with 3 people in the room. At times like those, splitting up to talk things over can be an effective approach.
私だってね、朝子の言いたいことややりたいことが理解できないわけじゃないのよ。朝子はあなたに対して生きる意味とか目標とか何かこう そういった漠然としたものを用意して、あなたに強く生きるってことの意味を教えたいんだなって思う。でも道はそれだけじゃないはずでしょ。あなたにはなろうと思えば何にでもなれる可能性がある。
She's trying to talk him out of it without talking him out of it.
朝子はあなた自身が選んだ道だって言うかもしれない。でも私に言わせれば、あなたは他の道を見つけていないだけなのよ。普通の会社員でもいいし、飲食店の店員でも何でもいい。もっと普通の生き方だってあなたならできるはず。
She does not want him to live that life. But she's not gonna force him out of it. I feel a bit for JB here. She wants him to she wants him to be normal, but she doesn't want to deny him his choices in life. As much as she doesn't want him to do this, if it's what he wants to do, she's gonna respect it. She'll hate it, but she's gonna respect it because it was his choice.
でも朝子は自分の経験の中でしか人に物を語れない女だから、どうしてもそっち方面の仕事でしかあなたを導けない。私はそれが気に入らないのよ。
Yeah. I understand what you mean, JB. And I think Asako probably does too.
それはどうかな。前から何度も言ってるけど、あなたは朝子をリスペクトしすぎよ。
You know, she told me something a while ago. You don't need two brilliant officers in one company. You ever heard that one?
何それ。
Basically, she says that when a commander and his XO are both really skilled, the troops tend to get wiped out sooner or later.
ああ、なんか聞いたことがあるな。要は同じ答えを出す人間がトップに2人いると、兵は迷わずに戦える分、作戦が失敗した時は一気に全滅するって話ね。
Okay. Yeah. And there's something else Asako always tells me. My opinions aren't always going to be correct. Neither are JB's. Final decision is always going to be yours.
なるほど。朝子らしいわね。
She also says, my job is to smack the enemies right in front of us, and JB's job is to fight with an eye on the enemies we'll be facing 10 years from now. To be honest, I can't even imagine myself 10 years down the line. I'm a dumb kid, and I've got my hands full with the present. So it seems to me that I might as well just focus on what I can do right now. Simple enough, right?
単純すぎ。
I don't disagree with you. But it's easy to understand, and I feel like it fits my personality.
それはあなたがそう考えるように朝子が仕向けたことよ。
What do you mean?
結局朝子はね、自分の分身を作ったのよ。
Yeah, as we saw in Fruit, this motherfucker is basically just boy Asako. Oh boy.
自分と似たような境遇を持った自分が教えることができる相手。そりゃ最初はほんの気まぐれだったかもしれない。それでも短期間でぐんぐん成長するあなたに、朝子は言葉にならない感動のようなものを感じていたってわけ。自分にはできなかった生き方をさせたいとか言っておいて、結局は自分と同じ道を力強く歩き始めたあなたが嬉しくて仕方がないのよ。
I don't know about that. I told Asako I wanted to be like her once. Do you know how she responded to that?
草壁朝子は2人もいらないでしょ。
What, you knew?
前に朝子本人から聞いたわ。あのバカ 私みてえになりたいとか言い出しやがった。ほんとバカ、マジでバカって。焼き鳥かじりながら嬉しそうに話してたわよ。
The world doesn't need two Kusakabe Asakos. And even if I follow the same road, that doesn't mean things will turn out exactly the same. In that case, I'll take the same path she did, and make it my own.
同じく風雨にさらされども、汝は赤く、我は木なりか。
Come again?
同じ環境に育った果実でも、木が違えば赤くもなるし黄色くもなる。赤い実は甘くて人に愛されるけれど、黄色く酸っぱい実もまた人は捨てないって話よ。ねえユージ。
Yes, Julia?
真面目な話をするつもりなんだけど、真面目に聞く気はある？
I'm always serious.
ごめん、ちょっと後ろからアルミジャッキ取ってもらえる？
Let's not. I'm pretty sure you'd actually kill me.
真面目に聞く気は？
Okay, okay.
最後にもう一度確認するわよ。あなたは本当にそれでいいの？
Yeah, I've made up my mind. I want to repay both of you for everything you've done for me.
恩返しが理由ならやめてもらえる？恩着せがましくて息苦しいから。
Don't worry about it. This is a debt I'll probably never repay anyway. All you need to do is keep an eye on the way I live my life.
わかったわ。じゃあ、もう何も言わない。これからの手続きは私がしてあげるわ。
That's a big help. Sorry, JB. Feels like I'm always giving you headaches.
いいのよ。これも仕事だと思えば。それよりも、これからのあなたの人生、かなり面倒なものになるわよ。覚悟はできてるの？
What's life without a little trouble? Helps keep things from getting too boring.
生意気言ってんじゃないわよ。まったく。
And so, I finally set foot onto the road Osco had followed. The road toward becoming a SIRS agent. Even now, I remember vividly just how enormous that first step felt. I'll make a quick save, but we're gonna continue still. I just want to make sure. Holy shit! We started at 7, now we're at 10!
シナリオ進行度の確認なんてしないんだからね。
Alright, we're over halfway done Yuji's entire little route here, his past. It's going pretty good. I think the 3-hour streams are a good idea. I'm able to get a lot more done in a short amount of time. I guess short amount of time, but it's not really short. I'm getting more done, which is actually really good. I'm getting a lot more games covered. So 3 hours is definitely better than my normal 2. I mean, 2 is still not bad, but 3 seems to be kind of the way to go if I can help it. So cool, we're over the halfway point. Nice. When you're looking for a job, qualifications are usually necessary. And when your chosen line of work involves protecting the interests of a nation from the shadows, the standards are understandably strict. You need results and achievements that demonstrate genuine skill. In other words, it's pretty easy to talk about getting a license, but the actual process isn't quite so simple. It didn't help that I lived a somewhat complicated life up to this point. In order to obtain the necessary qualifications, I needed to at least have some educational track record.
そんなわけで、おめえにはアメリカに渡って学校に通ってもらう。
Okay, so that's why he goes to America. Isn't it a little late for that at my age?
なーに、学校って言ったって、要は卒業資格がもらえる海軍連行だし、合衆国中のバカとアホとワルを集めたクソダメみたいな学校だ。
Sending you to military school. Have fun.
お前なんか全然ガキで、周りは年上ばっかだ。気にすんな。
Sounds like a pain.
めんどくせえのが人生だろ。楽しめよ。
These days, you need a CO2 emissions permit to make a bonfire in your own garden. Guess it's no surprise that a professional killer needs to be licensed. Still, seemed more than a little comical that I needed to go get myself a school diploma as a prerequisite for being permitted to murder people.
いいか、ユージ。兵隊は若い方が喜ばれる。体力的な問題は当然として、よく言えば世間連れをしていなくて価値観すら定まっていないやつの方が従順な兵士に育つからだ。
And even if they have already developed a sense of personal values, boot camp will break that shit down so you can be remolded again.
悪く言えば子供のように単純で騙しやすく、分かりやすい目標を与えればそれに向かうことしか考えない。国ってのはいつだってそんな兵士が欲しいんだよ。
People who haven't lived long enough to get too attached to the world make for more willing heroes, I guess.
嫌な言い方だが、まあそういうことだ。何心配するな。お前には私が教えられることは全て教えてある。何をやらされるにしても周りの奴らがとんでもない間抜けに見えるぐらい簡単だ。飯の食い方、銃の撃ち方、性悪女の扱い方まで教えてやったんだ。あとは一人でやれるな、ユージ。
Yeah. I don't really dislike the idea of going back to school anyway.
よし、じゃあ行くか。
Huh? You're coming too, Asako?
ま、一応保護者だからな。アメリカまではついて行ってやるよ。
What about work?
問題ない。ハンティングスクールのインストラクターの仕事をもう見つけてやる。
Of course. Please tell me JB isn't tagging along too. Considering my age, it seemed a little excessive for Asako to follow me over to my new school. But fortunately, that wasn't really what she had in mind. There was a perfectly good reason she was coming along with me. Specifically, I wouldn't have been permitted to leave the country without her. She wasn't actually being overprotective, in other words. It was just a matter of dealing with the red tape. That same day, the two of us headed for Atsuki Air Base and boarded a transport plane that flew us to the States. Once we landed, a multi-step journey by car and ferry brought us to San Diego, California. At this point, Asako told me I'd be going the rest of the way alone. She proceeded to walk off with a wave of her hand, leaving me standing there without so much as a suitcase. It was a little disconcerting. She'd only handed me two things: a small hand-drawn map and my orders to report for training. Apart from that, all I had were the clothes on my back and the wallet in my pocket. It's like, alright, have fun. Your first test is getting to the place. If you can't get there on your own, don't bother coming back. God, Asako. Studying the map, I found that my designated meeting point was a good 12 kilometers away. And although it was only spring, the San Diego sun was glaring down fiercely.
Hi, honey. What are you doing? What you doing, my baby girl? You finally awake? You finally awake, my baby girl? Are ya? Are ya? Oh, hey, Mari! How's it going?
Yeah, doggy. Hey, doggo. Good old Ruby. Oh, you're such a good girl, aren't you? Not bad. How are you? Doing pretty good. May I speak? Doing pretty good. Someone's grumpy, apparently. Such a grumpy girl. I have to look back in the vase just to see how much of that gets picked up. My goodness. Do you have to go outside? Is that what you want? You gotta go outside? Okay, let's go. I'll be right back. Someone has to go outside. Someone has to go outside. I'm just gonna leave it on this screen. I'll be right back. Come on, let's go. Come on, let's go outside. Let's go, honey. Come on. Okay. Now, I hope good old the chair kept you guys all nice and company and entertained. Just as I thought, she wanted to go out, just do her business, and then immediately come back in. Too cold for her. Let's see, how cold is it right now? What does my phone say? Oh. Yay. -11. Feels like -14. Let me switch that over into the freedom units for everybody else, so they know. It is 12. It feels like 7 right now. Cher was a great host. Awesome. Awesome. Damn throat. Also, if you have not checked out Mari, please do so. Wonderful, great friend of mine, VTuber, artist, author, lore master, plays quite a wide variety of games. I mean a wide variety. I never know what to expect with her. So please, if you've not checked her out, please do so. Also, coming up very soon is going to be a charity Mario Kart tourney with the community. So if you want to check that out, be tuned for that, because it'll be a lot of fun and a lot of happy kitties by the end of it. I'm gonna eat your ass? Is that a promise or a threat? Is that a promise or a threat? But you're welcome, Mari. Always both? But we just ate? Oh yeah, we just had breakfast. What about second breakfast?
also forgot a little earlier, if you have not checked out Nichols, please do so as well. Another great friend of mine. They also play a lot. They usually play a little more comfier games, stuff like Stardew Valley, Disney Dreamlight Valley. Also do a lot of point-and-click mystery-style games. They're trying to figure out and solve puzzles. So if you've not checked them out, please do so as well. It do be you! It do be a you. Ugh. I don't know why my throat's kind of like being scratchy. I didn't really do any voices today. The hell? It doobie doobie doo. The obvious choice was to take a taxi or something, but unfortunately, my financial situation didn't allow for that. At least I still had some leeway in terms of time. For lack of any better options, I started hiking down the road with my map in one hand. My sleep schedule's too God. Mine's a little better, but it's still pretty shite. I still don't go to bed till, like, at least fall asleep until, like, after midnight, even though I try and get in bed, usually, if I'm really fucking tired, by, like, 10. I was really tired yesterday for some reason. But still couldn't sleep until midnight, and then I was up at, like, 6, and just lied in bed for another, like, hour. Because I didn't want to get up. It's my days off, so I'm gonna take it while I can. Alrighty, Brozard, enjoy your lurk. Eventually, as I approached the location indicated on my map, I began to notice a number of people who were clearly headed to the same direction, or destination. Some were dragging carts full of baggage, clutching letters like mine and looking nervously around the area. And others were squatting down on the bare earth, puffing away at cigarettes with resentful scowls on their faces. There were even small groups of people who seemed to know each other, talking casually about nothing in particular. From all appearances, Uncle Sam's school seemed to accept quite a range of students. "30 minutes or so before the designated time, a single bus pulled up and stopped next to our group. There were already a number of people seated inside. It was probably going around like a garbage truck, collecting students who'd been called to various locations. A few seconds after it stopped, the doors of the bus swung open and a man stepped down to stand in front of it. He was wearing a blue outfit that resembled a prison guard's uniform. After a brief glance around the area, he proceeded to bellow at us from the top of his lungs. Some people flinched and lined up immediately. Those were the more innocent ones. The majority hadn't quite come to terms with their new position in the world and walked over to the bus with a deliberate, resentful sluggishness. Did they actually think expressing their displeasure through a lousy attitude was going to make things any better for them? Oh, fuck no. They're going to harp on you even more. They weren't much different from the kids in Oslo's school in that respect. The familiarity of it all was actually a little reassuring. When I presented my orders to the man in front of the entrance to the bus, he flipped through the contents of the envelope briefly and then glared down at me. Do I need something other than that envelope? After everyone boarded, we drove around picking up groups waiting at various other locations, but none of them were any better than the guys I was with. Yeah, these are all people that have been forced to go here, I know it, 100%. Inside that bus, there were two main topics of conversations.
Where are you from? What did you pull to end up here? The hierarchy was mainly determined by your hometown and the number of illegal things you'd done there. A lot like Oslo's school in that respect, too. Oh, great, you're comparing American military school to a fucking terrorist training camp. Congrats, y'all been drafted. Now get on the bus. From what I overheard, the bus was full of former criminals. Car thieves, convenience store robbers, drug dealers, even a few sex offenders. Oh, great. I really didn't want to have anyone strike up a conversation with me, so I decided to pretend I was asleep. That didn't stop a certain black man from reaching over and forcefully grabbing hold of my shoulder.
Oi, Chinese. お前はどんなことしてきたんだ?
Wow. Just calling him he's from Japan. So, he's racist. Granted, on Yuji's first fucking assassination mission with the terrorist camp people, he was dressed up and pretended to be a Chinese girl. This game's wild. Nick, what the fuck? You can't say that shit! It's what... All I can say is, when he was younger, apparently, he looked very feminine. He was very, like, thin and soft-skinned and whatnot. And I guess that was, like, the best cover to get close to men that we had to kill, was pretend to be a girl. Yeah. Yeah, it's... I'm not even gonna talk about what Oslo fucking made him do. It honestly hurt. Maybe he wanted to show off the power of his grip. Maybe he just didn't know how to control his own strength. Either way, it was a serious nuisance. That said, I couldn't ignore him or answer with some half-assed lie. It would just make things even more difficult down the road. I'd learned that much in Oslo's school. A simple and honest answer was usually the best. Killed both my parents.
マジかよ.
That said, you have to know when to take a hint. Of course not. Just a joke.
んだよ、笑えねえぞ、チャイニーズ.
Stop calling him Chinese. God. As a general rule, thugs only attack those weaker than themselves. You only get one life, and it's over if you lose the wrong fight. There aren't many bullies stupid enough to go picking fights with people stronger than they are. Naturally, that means there's nothing people like that hate more than someone they can't size up properly. I guess I fell into that category. After that brief conversation, nobody else spoke to me for the rest of the ride. All in all, I think we spent a good 2 hours bumping around in that bus as it circled about picking up students. Excuse me. When it finally arrived at our destination, we were greeted by a surprisingly impressive gate. It looked like something you might see in front of a more normal school. The grounds inside were lush with green. A blatantly military building, best described as a plain white lump of concrete, was visible from the entrance. There is a military base. Is there a military base in San Diego? I don't know that. Yes, a lot of them, apparently. There's a lot of military bases. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 military bases in San Diego alone. God damn. I know they have one of those battleships as a museum. Okay. Still, it was nicer looking than I'd expected. Seemed like they probably covered up the grime with a fresh coat of paint every few years.
バスを降りたら体育館へ走れ。ぐずぐずするな。
It would have helped if we knew where the gym even was. For the time being, since I didn't have any luggage to worry about, I jumped down from the bus and took off running in the direction the man had pointed. This is true in Oslo's school as well, but in the military, the fundamental rule is run wherever you're taking more than 3 steps. After running about 200 meters in the direction of the white building, a semi-cylindrical structure came into view at the other end of a massive athletic field. Predictably, it was also painted white. Normally, they might have held an impressive enlistment ceremony in there, but low-quality recruits like us apparently didn't warrant anything so fancy. Once we got to the gym, they immediately split us up by gender, then confiscated every last one of our personal belongings. That included our wallets, our cell phones, and the clothes on our backs. Oh. In other words, they had us standing there completely naked. Something of a rude welcome, but it was too late for regrets now. After lining us up in rows, the instructors handed out a medical examination form and had us write our names on the top. Of course, our names were already printed on the top of the form, so I suppose they were trying to identify anyone who was completely illiterate. Carrying only one flimsy piece of paper, we filed into stations where nurses in white clothing were waiting. Answered a few questions about our medical history, and then shuffled over to whatever line they told us to wait in next. They tested our eyesight, gave us all sorts of vaccinations, and pushed their stamps down on our forms over and over again. At the end, they even checked us for venereal disease. By the conclusion of that particular experience, it was starting to feel like they'd taken my last scrap of human dignity away. Oh, don't worry. They'll find that other scrap you didn't think you knew you had. They'll take the very last one you didn't know you already had and manage to get rid of it too. They always find that little bit more. But then they abruptly announced I was done and pointed me to a machine nearby. I lined up the arrows and slipped my form into the slot. A moment later, it popped back out with a barcode printed on top. After following a series of duct tape arrows across the floor, I finally exchanged my form for a single pair of underwear. Of course, even that was a significant improvement over being naked, so I found myself breathing a sigh of relief. But before long, they sat me down, threw a white sheet around my neck, and shaved off my hair with all the gentleness of a farmer shearing sheep. As angry complaints echoed across the gym, I walked across the floor, rubbing my newly cropped head. And accepted my next present. A top-loaded duffel bag made from white canvas. Oh my, yeah, they're in boot camp. They're 100% in fucking boot camp. The square board at the bottom was about 40 centimeters per side. The total length of the bag was maybe 140. In other words, it looked a little bit like something Santa Claus might carry. But rather than toys, it would gradually be filled up with government-issued goods. We all lined up with our bags, waiting our turn to receive our clothing. Apart from the fact we were all half naked, it kind of resembled lunchtime at a busy cafeteria. As it happened, the black man who'd spoken to me on the bus was right in front of me. I wasn't sure who the people behind the long desks at the head of the line were. Maybe older students or recent graduates. Whatever the case, they treated the rookies in front of them with fairly obvious contempt.
靴のサイズは28センチ。それじゃわからん。US インチで言え。10インチだ。なら 8.5 インチだ。持っていけ。
Ouch.
おい、文句は履いてから言え。ほら、次のやつ。足のサイズは。
10 inches.
あ？随分とでか足だな、おちびちゃんよ。
He has small feet, doesn't he? And he's saying a bigger size, so he'll get a smaller size. Counting my socks and lining. Just hand them over, will you?
お前、懲罰の出戻りが？まあいい。ほら、8インチをくれてやる。いいか、支給された服や靴のサイズが合わないやつは、他のやつと交換しろ。それでも合わないというやつは、体の方を服に合わせる。いいな。
Yeah, that very much feels like an army thing, like a military thing.
むちゃくちゃ言うぜ。
That's the military for you, right? Just buy new ones if those don't really don't fit. I glanced down at the goods I'd just been handed. Most of them were clearly used rather than new. Just like in Oslo's school, they were probably reissuing us clothing and shoes returned by recent graduates. In that case, they'd presumably allow us to buy our own gear as well. If you don't want to get athlete's foot or jock itch, I'd recommend picking up some new shoes and underwear.
財布を取り上げられちまったってのにどうしろってんだよ。
Good question. As far as I know, they usually pay trainees with tickets instead of a salary. I'll probably be able to exchange those for clothes or snacks.
なんだよお前、やけに詳しいな。軍にいた経験でもあるのか？
No. I was taken in by a soldier as a kid, that's all.
またジョークか。
Yeah, you catch on quick.
変なやつだぜ。
The first thing they issued us were boots and a pair of indoor leather shoes. After that came 2 sets each of Type 1 and Type 2 working uniforms. 2 sets of work clothes, 1 workwear jumpsuit, 3 long sleeve shirts, 3 short sleeve shirts, 8 pairs of socks, 2 BDU battle dress uniforms, 2 caps and round cans, 1 running suit, and 2 pairs of sweatshirts and sweatpants for use as sleepwear. By the time we finished cramming all that in, there wasn't room for anything else. They'd have us smack the bottom of our bags against the floor to forcibly compress it all. They packed a few bathroom goods like towels and toothbrushes into the space that created, capped everything off with a helmet, and then finally tied the bag's drawstrings shut. Damn! This is literally induction day. By this point, the thing must have weighed a good 20 to 30 kilos. Almost felt like we were carrying a body bag.
よーし貴様ら全員並べ。今から認識票と名前のゴム印を配る。名前を呼ばれたやつから受け取りに来い。いいかクズども、認識票は迷子札だ。1枚は迷子にならないように首から下げとけ。余っても1枚は足首だ。編み上げ靴のコードにでも縛り付けておけ。
Fair, okay.
そしてもう一つはこのゴム印だ。こいつにはお前らのダサい名前と栄えある海兵隊の兵籍番号が記されている。ここでは飯を食うにもハンコがいる。なくすんじゃねえぞ。
Drill instructors are more or less the same anywhere you go. The general message is, you're trash! They verbally abuse you and call everything you do a fuck-up. Helps keep the recruits humble and discourages them from trying anything stupid. The instructor glared fiercely at us as he called out our names and handed out our tags, zeroing in on the problem kids who need a little help breaking free from their worldly desires. Once we lined up in the order our names were called, he divided us into 12 groups of 14 people each, then explained that this made a single company. The smaller groups were squads. I ended up in the 7th. Yeah, there's... Yeah, that's kind of how it goes. Smaller groups are squads. A bunch of squads together is a company. Multiple companies together would be a battalion. I think that's how it goes. I'm trying to remember from my old cadet days. Trying to remember that. Yeah, okay, yeah, so a battalion is made up of a number of companies. Companies are made up of, companies are made up of platoons. Platoons are made up of squads. And squads are, well, you know, made up of people. Yeah, so I kind of remembered that. I think platoon might be, that could be just used as another thing, too. I could be wrong, though, so yeah. So it goes squad, platoon, company, battalion. What comes after battalion? Might be a regiment? I think? Yeah, okay, yeah. So we got squad, platoon, company, battalion, regiment, and it just kind of goes up from there. Okay. There, you guys get a tiny bit of truncated military education. A tiny, tiny bit.
第7班、今日からここが貴様らの居室となる。掃除はもちろん、日頃の整理整頓も職務として厳しくチェックされる。怠慢が発覚すれば連帯責任となるからそのつもりでいろ。
Our living quarters were a single room, large but bleak. It contained nothing except 7 bunk beds and a locker for each of us. Inside the lockers were blankets and a pillow, tied up in a tight roll. Normally, we'd be storing our canvas bags in the bottom half of the locker to keep our belongings secure. There was also a shelf for the storage of rifles, but it was empty for the moment.
やれやれ、まったくとんでもねえところに来ちまったな。
What, you again?
おい、それは俺のセリフだ。バスが同じだったやつはベッドまで同じらしいな。俺が下でお前が上だぜ、チャイニーズ。
Oh my god, stop calling him Chinese. I'm Japanese, actually.
似たようなもんだろ。お前、名前は
Same fucking guy. Yuji. Kazumi Yuji.
ユージェンイか。まるで女みたいな名前だな。
Oh, for fuck's sakes. I said Yuji, okay? Did you go deaf listening to too much loud music?
言うじゃねえか。間違っちゃいねえわな。俺はダニエル。ダニエル・ボーンだ。よろしくね。ダチはみんなダニーって呼ぶぜ。
Danny, okay. Good to meet you, Bone.
いきなりダチ面しやがったらぶっ飛ばしてるぜ。オーケー、ダニーでいいぞ、ショーティ。
Shorty?
お前ら日本人の名前は発音が面倒でいけねえや。
Bruh!
他にお前よりチビはいねえし、おチビで十分だろ。
Bruh, come on. Not even that hard. I fucking... whatever. Whatever. Just... whatever. Okay. Fine. Whatever. Osco taught me a few tricks for getting along in the military. Don't talk about your past until someone asks you. As a general rule, try not to do anything that stands out. Don't make enemies if you can possibly help it. Don't disobey orders. Don't try anything stupid. In other words, things should go smoothly as long as you keep quiet, keep your head down, and do as you're told. Show off or get greedy, and you'll land yourself in hot water. I'd been trying to respect those rules so far, but for some reason, this guy took an interest in me anyway. Daniel Bone, born in Arizona, nickname Danny. That was pretty much the personification of US-style juvenile crime. Stole a car at 13, robbed a convenience store at 15, landed himself in prison, got paroled at 17. When he was nabbed for another car theft during his probation period, they gave him a choice between heading back to prison or joining the Navy. He went for the latter. That's what Danny said, at least. Later on, when his younger sister came to visit, she told me most of his stories were a load of bull. You got to know his fucking sister. Sounded like he was actually just a delinquent who hung around with a bunch of bikers. Not that it really matters, I guess. We'd come here on the same bus, landed in the same squad, and even found ourselves sharing living quarters. So that wasn't exactly a surprise when they ended up pairing us off as buddies. The two of us were considered a single combat unit. In other words, if Danny screwed up, I had to get punished for it too. Can't say I was particularly happy about getting teamed up with some bald punk from Arizona, but in the words of our squad leader, if your partner fucks up, it means you fucked up. If I didn't want to be punished, I'd just have to demonstrate some competent leadership. Speaking of the squad leader, oh my god, I'm going to try to get through a little bit more of this scene, save and end off. Typically, that position was held by an NCO, like a sergeant or corporal, but Squad 7 had an actual officer in charge. This is something I only heard about later, but Squad number 7 was also known as the Problem Child Squad, where the instructors dumped all the recruits whose files indicated they warranted special attention. The leader of our squad, accordingly, was a legendary monster of an instructor known as Captain Agnes Garrett, a living embodiment of our beloved America and its fearsome strength. And on the very first day of training, the lovely Captain Garrett addressed us thusly.
いいかクズ様、海兵隊に志願するような奴は大体どんな素性か決まっている。
Alright. You know what? That's a good spot to end, I think, actually. Also, how is Yuji gonna be wooing this woman now? Because you fucking know Yuji's gonna find some way to woo her. And get her to fall fucking in love with him. I don't know how, but he fucking will. Oh my god. This guy always knows how to make women fall in love with him despite being just a complete and utter asshole. And not even like the haha teehee funny kind of asshole. He's just like an asshole. Alright, swapping over to good old just chatting screen. Oh, I gotta stretch. Oh. Yeah. Okay, we definitely made a lot of progress today. And I mean a lot of progress. Which is good. Just very, very good. This random Grisaia week I decided to do has been working out really well. Speaking of that, no stream for the next 2 days just because I wanted to give myself 2 days off. One of the days I'm going to be working pretty late-ish, like I won't be getting home till like damn near 9. And the other day is just a normal work day, but I figured let's just make them back-to-back. Let's just Let's just make the days off back to back, just so it's easier on me. So the next time you guys will actually see me will be Friday at 10 o'clock again for more Grisaia. Picking up literally right where we left off. You're welcome, Mari. Now, I've got a fair bit of people right now. I kind of want to do a raid. I definitely want to do a raid. I think I got a target in mind. Someone I watch occasionally. I've actually been watching a lot more than recently now. Figure why not? Give it one shot at a raid. Just one. Wrong command. I think that... Yeah, why not? We're gonna give it a shot. Give this a shot, see how it goes. I want to do it at least once. I want to try and raid some new people I haven't raided before. Will it work? Yes. So yeah, we are going... I'm going to send you guys off to Estrella Aretas. VTuber, blind VTuber, that does quite a bit of things. It looks like today's going to be a Lego day. Those are always fun. It also talks about quite a fair bit of things. Some very deep, some very goofy, but it's always a lot of interesting, well thought out conversations, honestly. I actually do enjoy watching her fare quite a bit. So, yeah, thank you again, everyone, for watching, commenting, lurking. Appreciate it very, very much. You guys, again, will not see me until Friday at 10. So, I hope everyone has themselves a great rest of your day, and let's send some love off to Estrella.